All right, we got action. No more fucking technical difficulties. George, are you still with me, man?
Yeah, for at least a couple more.
Anyway, guys, we're going to do our recap of UFC on FX7. We're going to start it out with, okay, now, George, you remember last time I tried to pronounce his name, Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, and considering neither one of us can still pronounce his name, hats off to everyone who's actually watched our show before and understands it. Just because we don't understand their names doesn't mean that we don't follow the sport or like the sport. And for most of you, you're tuning in for the banter and the wittiness of Kevin and myself.
Americans that don't take the time. Sometimes it's just difficult to do. Anyway,
yeah, it's just so fucking stupid. Like there's anyone over in the fucking middle of Afghanistan learning how to say Smith or Williams right now? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I know anybody, half the people overseas can't pronounce some of the brothers' names that are fucking in the States right now because some crazy fucking names. Anyway,
yeah, no shit.
Mad fucking props to Khabib. This fucking guy is nasty. I mean, you know, in a lightweight division that is already fucking stacked, going up against a guy, Thiago Tavares, that was looking really good as of late, he fucking ended in like 2 minutes. And, you know, he did it with a TKO with elbows, and now you've got another guy who is sitting at 19-0 in his MMA career, 3-0 in the UFC, and he's another fucking good lightweight, George. I mean, you know, this is another guy.
It's the lightweight division is just going to be a problem. I mean, there's just going to be so many guys and so many. I mean, it's just going to be a fun division to watch because it's never going to be. I don't think you're going to see trilogies in the lightweight division.
You're not. It's just going to be. It's going to be stacked, and there's always going to be good matchups. Every potential matchup you have is going to be exciting. Now, rolling on over to Gabriel Gonzaga, who was in a heavyweight bout. He looked impressive. I know he went up against a Ben Rothwell. I know, George, you're not really fucking high on Rothwell, but he was impressive. Your boy, you know, he went back to his roots with BJJ. It was cool how you actually saw him look at the big screen, find his position, realize he wasn't in a good enough position, get out of it, take it back down to the ground and submit Ben Rothwell. So, I mean,
because he's a vet who's been in the UFC and fought at that level and fought those caliber fighters night in and night out.
Right.
I'm not saying Rothwell hasn't, but he hasn't.
Right.
He's fought in the IFL. I mean, that's where he made, you know, that's where he's made his name. He hasn't. What's his biggest one in the UFC?
I don't even know what Rothwell's biggest.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, it's been a fucking nasty roller coaster ride. That's one thing I can fucking tell you. You know. Speaking of roller coaster rides, the next bout with the middleweight bout between CV Dolloway and Daniel Sarafian, and Dolloway's kind of been hit or miss lately, but you know what? Now he's sitting at having 2 straight wins. He was impressive. He got a split decision over this guy. I mean, what do you think that does for Dolloway, though?
I don't care.
Yeah.
It's not going to propel him to go anywhere. I mean, he's going to have to start beating some of the bigger the 185ers.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's
a bit bigger named. I mean, let him go up against, I mean, I don't know. I just,
yeah,
I'm not impressed with him. I've never been a fan of him. I'm just, yeah.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, and you and I are talking about for the cameras, he's just not an exciting fighter. Taking nothing away from his skills, he's just not exciting, you know? And
no, trust me, I'm not tuning in to watch him fight a headliner.
Right. You know, and I'm with yourself. But anyway, the big thing was Vitor Belfort versus Michael Bisping, and we'll make it quick. And you know what, George, I'm gonna let you just fucking take over because I know you have a lot to fucking say about this. I'm a Vitor Belfort fan. I will say that real quickly. And
I am too, but he's a sauce monkey. I mean, he's already been busted for steroids once, and everyone's going to sit here and act like the dude's not on juice again. Did anyone look at his physique? His skin's paper thin. It looked like he could have walked out onto the bodybuilding stage, except for his biggest issue is he's got a 97-inch waist, which, I mean, you need for fighting.
The thing is this. I mean, being a fan or not of Vitor Belfort, it was very apparent that he was fucking juiced to the gills. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. You, at 35 years old, your physique just does not change that much. The fight was in Brazil. Obviously, every single person I know that was watching the fight called me, and that's the first thing they said. I mean, now I will say this. I'm not going to say anything. Vitor Belfort has looked really good as of late, and I say that because a lot of people, you might not realize, if you take away the 2 losses he has, and that one being to John Jones and the other one to Anderson Silva, who most people would lose to, he hadn't lost since I think it was like late 2006. He's gone. He's pretty much TKO'd everybody. So he has looked better in the last, 5-6 years. But the thing is that wow, it was just at another fucking level and
well, and here's the thing I brought up to Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and think about this. Just to give you an idea of how good John Jones and Anderson Silva are, let's just assume they're not on juice.
Right.
They just beat a guy who can only win against other guys. I mean, when he's all jacked up. But then you look at a guy like Bisping, who obviously hasn't touched steroids a day in his life.
Clean. He looks like a natural athlete.
Right. Mm-hmm. And he absolutely he gets destroyed by any guy who's on TRT, but then gives everyone else a fit.
Yeah.
I mean, Bisping is probably like the third or fourth best guy at 185, and the only guys in front of him are on juice and Anderson Silva. Yeah. So Anderson Silva and John Jones dispatch of Vitor Belfort, and I mean, everyone else can't beat him. It just tells you.
What it tells you is just exactly how skilled they are at fighting. Because, I mean, I'm going to tell you what, if you take the bottom line and you let everybody get fucking jacked to the fucking gills, everybody gets fucking jacked on juice and PEDs and stuff, eventually the skill set will win the fights. You know what I mean? Because the TRTs aren't going to matter anymore, and skill will come into play, and that's what you see with Anderson Silva and John Jones. I mean,
it'd be scary if John Jones and Anderson Silva found a reason to get on TRT.
Yeah, it would be a fucking massacre. But I mean, the next thing, if you look at it in contrast, I'm one person. I want to see Vitor Belfort fight Chael Sonnen. I don't care.
I'm all for it.
I want to see, and you know what? Let him fight in Brazil. If Chael Sonnen's willing to go down to Brazil, and it's probably a big fucking chance, let him get fucking jacked to the fucking, let them get fucking both, do whatever the fuck they want and fight each other. I want to see that because I think that would be a good fight,
I agree. I'm with you 100% because both of them like their drugs. Both of them have an issue with taking them and getting caught by taking them. And then my thing is I don't understand why Vitor is ducking and dodging these questions about TRT. Dude, it's not a bad thing in the UFC.
Right.
Just file your paperwork. Your boss has already said that.
Yeah.
He's thrown his hands up in the air and go, "Oh, there's nothing more I can do."
Right.
Yeah, there is. You just make it illegal. Point, period, end of story. Like, you shouldn't be 40-year-old. If you're 40-year-old and you want to fight a 25-year-old, you are probably going to get your ass whipped. Yeah. And if you want to fight him, that's on you, and you shouldn't have a chemical advantage.
Or have two fucking divisions. Have an open division and let your open division be, not only know that everybody's going to be, the events are going to be held where there's no fucking drug testing, is just does not matter, Canada, Brazil, whatever, and then have another division where basically, there's going to be ones in the States where there's going to be certain levels and stuff, and let them compete in whatever division they feel like it. But I think to some degree,
in other words, what Kevin is saying, let's take a bodybuilding contest and put it in Arena A. And then let's put a natural bodybuilding contest and put it in Arena B and put them side by side and see who shows up more to the other one. The thing is, we Americans and us people around the world, we want to see the bearded woman at the circus. We want to see the freak shows. We want to see the guy who looks like Alistair Overeem but runs like Michael Johnson. Right. That's just what we've grown accustomed to. Yeah. That's like this whole thing with Lance Armstrong. Yeah. No shit, you couldn't compete at that level because they stripped him of his title and had to give it to the next person in line who didn't have any drug issues. Yeah. It was the 18th place guy.
Right. Every single one of those fucking cyclists are jacked on shit. So, at a certain point in time, where is there a even playing field? Did we know in baseball? How long had the guys been taking drugs in Major League Baseball? We don't fucking know. There's guys that are 70, 60, 70 years old that used to play in the MLB, and they were taking fucking drugs. But you know what? No one will talk to them about being in the record books or say anything about them possibly being HOF candidates because no one knew about it. There wasn't good testing now. So somewhere along the line, you got to fucking put something together where everybody is on an even fucking playing field, or say, okay, there's
And I'm with you, Kevin. I just take the UFC, split it into the open, and you know what? I honestly think that Bisping could be a 185-pound champ if he didn't have to go up against Dan Henderson, known TRT user, Vitor Belfort, been popped for steroids once and probably on TRT now, and Brian Stan. I mean, I know you're an American hero, dude, but
and most importantly, Anderson Silva retired.
Chael Sonnen. Right. Right, and and Anderson retiring. But I mean, here's the other thing: he used to fight at 205. Right. So Bisping even had to come down to the 205 class to be competitive. Yeah. So in a way, I feel bad for a guy like Bisping who's trying to do it quote the right way. Yeah. And in his sport, you don't get rewarded for doing things the right way in the UFC.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, anyway, guys, let us know your feelings. Also, if you haven't had a chance, right here below George and myself is the link to the HH Greg contest. HH Greg Gives. It's a great contest they're doing. doing, they're giving away the house. George and I have said it a few times over. They're giving away all types of fucking equipment. They're also giving away they've teamed up with the Dan Marino Foundation. They'll be giving away some Dan Marino memorabilia. So if you get a chance, hit the link below us and check out that. We're out of here, and we'll catch you guys next time. Later.